What is up, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're here for episode number 4 of the My Team journey. Quick apologies for the lengthy break between episodes. Yeah, have had a couple of PC issues, but more importantly, this is a good excuse. This video took forever to get up. So yeah, apologize for the lengthy break. Hope you guys accept that apology. But let's get cracking with this episode. The first sprint weekend, as you can guess from the title, the first sprint weekend of this season, the first of 3 this season. The next one will be in Austria, and then the final one will be in Brazil. This video could turn out to be 3/4, like 45 minutes to 50 minutes long, so be sure to grab a snack, get your brekkie or a snack or a dinner wherever you're watching around the world, and get settled in, because this video should hopefully be an absolute cracker. So now we've hit level 5 in Team Acclaim, which means we can sign a secondary sponsor. Now, I did have a few minutes to think about this. In fact, I feel like it took forever just to make up a decision. But in the end, we went for Highland, which is overtake 5 drivers during a race. Honestly, I wish it was higher. So we're going to sign Highland as a secondary sponsor. The gold bonus is sort of what I'm looking for here. The other high sort of gold bonus cash are very, very tempting, but we just don't have the car to do so. So we're going to sign Highland. We're going to stick them on the car right now. We're going to stick them on the front and rear side plates, and we're going to just chuck it above the car where the airbox flows. And of course, we had a spark plugs failure, and that was engine power, which failed, but we can still get that on the car in time for this weekend, as well as weight reduction and weight redistribution, I think. We could go for a tyre wear upgrade, which would go on for the next race in Miami. I'm actually looking forward to racing in Miami pretty soon. We've got 100% discount for rear downforce, so we could literally do that anytime. And if it fails, it won't cost us anything, because we can basically get that for free, essentially. So moving forward towards the closest to the weekend, we're getting the weekly resources come in, and of course, we have one of our very first departments that want to have a chat with us, and they want to know who our rival is going to be. So Lando Norris and Daniel Ricciardo are potential rivalries that we can choose. But given that it's good that we've seen in real life so far, Danny Rick has been a bit woeful in the first half of this season, and Lando, he's gone better out of that McLaren, which honestly it still doesn't even feel like an upper midfield team. I reckon that car is still squabbling for like fringe points, if that. So we're going to do a rear downforce upgrade, which will miss Miami because we've gone too long, and we were still waiting for a rear downforce or some other downforce upgrade to get on the car. So that's a bit of a shame. So it won't go on for Miami, but we can still get it on for Spain. So now we're at Imola for a Pirelli Hot Lap Challenge. We've got a autocross, I think this is. We're in the McLaren 720S, I believe. This is going through turns 2 and 3. Really, it's turn 1 and 2, because there's a little bend after the start-finish line, and already I have to drive this thing like it's another car, because these things are not F1 cars. These cars handle so much differently. So all you need to do is get through each gate, and you get extra time to continue on. Running wide at Acqua Minerale, I think that's how you see it. I get confused. 2 track limits warnings already, another one, and it could be a disqualification. But the more you go through these gates, the shorter the time. So each time you pass the gates, it'll go down by a second. So the first one was 20, and it go down by 1 second. So I think what's this one? So 16 seconds added to the time, and the more we go to each gate, the more time or the less time we get extra. if that makes sense. So we've already had a couple of track limits warnings already, and I think we should be nearing a disqualification for one ride at turn 9. Hope that didn't give us a track limits violation, thank goodness. So we can continue on with 23 seconds on the going through the same part that I get confused on how I say it, in all honesty. Seriously, I just never know how I can get any of them right. 5 seconds ago, we can get to the next gate in time. However, it's only 10 seconds to reach to the next gate. Hopefully that is enough for us to beat the target goal. And can we get there in time? 3, 2, 1, and we missed out. We missed out on beating the target objective, which was 10,000 meters and 250 feet, if that makes sense. I don't exactly know, but yeah, we just missed out by under 100, and I think it gets silver. I'm pretty sure, yeah. So 10,164, not bad. 500 to claim, 50,000 in cash. And now we go into Friday practice. We are on a quali one, and we are interfered by Max Verstappen. He has literally wasn't even looking in his mirrors. He let the Williams go through, but he didn't even slow down enough to even let us through. What are you doing, Max? That is so not like the reigning champion to just be in the middle of literally right at the apex. Just blocking us off. We got P2 in practice one, only because the practice programs were actually pretty tough. So I literally had to use all the available track limits we had. Didn't even get a chance to finish what I was saying, but now it is qualifying time for the sprint. Straight after practice one, we're into Friday qualifying now, and we are out for our first run. Max Verstappen, who blocked us off in our practice quali run, is out. Oh, and he's collided with a McLaren of Lando Norris. So something's happened between those two. I didn't go back far enough to see what happened, so... Oh, man. Oh god, I hope Max hasn't blocked off Lando as well. I wish I saw the replay of that earlier. Oh man, that was a big crash. Whatever happened between those two, and I'm pretty sure Lando's not going to be happy with that. And now we're passing where these two collided. It was right here where they tangled. So through turn 9 in our first quality lap. So this weekend has already been hectic enough as it is. Max Verstappen nearly taking us out and literally taking out Lando Norris. Yeah, so P17 at the end of our first run, 17.9. We did have a heavy fuel tank on board with us, and now we're heading out for our final run in Q1. Hopefully we can get ourselves into Q2, into turn number 2. I don't even know why this is turn 2, because the little bend after the first grid slot, apparently that counts as a corner. I don't know why that would even count as a corner, because it's a slight bend, but apparently slight bends on some racetracks do count as a turn. How unreal is that? Through turn 7 up towards turn 8 and 9. This is turn 8 right here. This little bend, I don't get why that would even be a turn. It's a slight bend. What's the point of making that a turn if it's just a slight bend? Through Acqua Minerale, through I'm lost for words. I don't even know what to say. after 1 and a bit seasons of F1 2021, my team, and into this, I literally have not much more of what to say. Oscar went P18. But then I think it was quickly displaced by Lance Stroll or someone else who was behind it. We're going through Ravazza right now onto the main straight. We're up by 1.2 seconds, so this is a better lap than our first run. Where does it put us? It was a high 16, P11. P11, that means that is a Q2 appearance, and it wouldn't be far off from a Q3 appearance. Poor Oscar, he missed out by, what's the gap to to Q2, well, three and a bit tenths. So a bit unlucky for Oscar. Sun is shining in Q2, so the sun has deteriorated away. There are still a little bit of clouds, as you can see in the distance, but they've gone away. So our first lap was, I actually don't even know what our first lap was, but I think it was slightly faster than our first quali lap. The very first at the start of this qualifying session through Acqua Minerale once again. I feel like over the time I've gotten a lot better through the first through Acqua Minerale. Alex Albon has displaced us from Q3. We're up by 6 tenths. This should hopefully get us into Q3. We did run a little bit wide and we do lose a bit of time on our delta. Where does this lap put us in terms of the result? P11. Not quite our first Q3 appearance. Wow, literally 0.03 away. And now I did have a look to see how much time we lost through Ravazza, and we did lose about 0.03. So I think even if we didn't get a bad run, I don't think it would have been enough to get us into Q3, or it might have been enough if we literally got the run of our lives. But it's P11 on the grid for the sprint. Hopefully we can get into the top 10 or the top 8, because you only get points if you finish inside the top 8. Whereas the last year's only top 3 were awarded points. But of course there were no such thing as sprint races on F1 2021. We did the rest of the practice programs that we didn't quite complete in practice 2, Saturday practice 2. Now we can get, we still can't do downforce. Oh, that's because we did the rear downforce, which will go on for Spain. It wouldn't really matter if it fails or not, because it was literally a free part, essentially. We can do a major rate reduction upgrade that will go on just in time for Spain, or we could do an ERS upgrade. 39% failure chance. Anytime you get it in the orange failure chance rate, you kind of got to get the nerves that it's not even gonna get on the car in time for that weekend. But that's it for now. All the upgrades we needed to do. Let's go into the sprint race, and honestly, I'm pretty excited for it.
So it's all about speed in today's sprint. Not very many laps and no chance to get ahead on strategy. Who here today has the raw skill to take them to the top? Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting sprint. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole. And the smooth operator Carlos Sainz completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Perez, Hamilton, George Russell, and Fernando Alonso, Ocon, Bottas, Magnussen, and Mick Schumacher, Skip, Tsunoda, Daniel Ricciardo, and Gasly, Albon, Verstappen, Sebastian Vettel, and Guan Yu Zhou, Stroll, Oscar Piastri, Latifi, and Lando Norris starts from the back of the grid. Which of these drivers will get pole position today? We'll soon find out.
Here we go then for the sprint race here in Imola. What did the strategy suggest for us? Mediums or hards? No suggestions on softs. I would have thought we would have 100% gone on softs, but apparently they're saying that the softs will literally die off towards the end of the race. So there it is. That's interesting. I would have thought softs were guaranteed to easily get the distance. Briefly stopped as we're on our way to our grid stop, but we've overshot the mark for the very first time, and now we start a little bit further back than what we wanted, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, here we go. 5 red lights ahead of the Imola sprint race, and we are racing here in Imola. Good start up against both Hazards and Bottas. But the second phase, yeah, it doesn't quite work out for us in the slipstream of the Hazard. We're going to go up the inside. We're going to make it 3 wide. It's a turn number 1. We've had to cut the corner just to avoid contact with someone else, and we've actually gained a position on Fernando Alonso. So P7 for us. Great start from us, and Kevin Magnussen has got up the inside as well. We give him enough space at 5 and 6, and on the run up to turn number 7. So P7 for us at the end of the first sector. So a decent start. However, I'm not too sure if Fernando's going to be happy with that corner code. Kevin Magnussen having a look at us at Acqua Minerale. No, not really an overtaking spot. Or not the best place to make an overtake happen. But he's forced his way around, and now he's made a mistake. And Fernando gets him, so does Bottas, and now he's given us front wing damage. Fernando has given us front wing damage. We get a collision warning. I want to see that again if I can. Bottas now gets us back. Mark is suggesting a strategy change. Fernando's into the pit lane for a new front wing when he was still pulling away from us. We should be on really identical pace. I wanted to stay out for this lap just to see how bad the damage was as we head into turns 1 and 2. Now Tsunoda has forced us off. That's going to give us more damage, and that might even give Tsunoda damage as we run wide at turn 4, and I make the call to box at the end of this lap for another set of mediums, maybe even a set of softs, because we do have one more set of new softs available for us. I think during the sprint race, Tsunoda gets us back. I'd be surprised if he doesn't even have any front wing damage. Now Albon gets us at turn number 9. We go a little bit wide just so we don't avoid any more contact. I think Fernando could be in the box seat to overtake it or maybe even extend that gap, because now we're squabbling with these guys. We run wide at Acqua Minerale. Now Schumacher gets us on the run to the chicane. We almost or kind of let him go through as we literally jump over the curb. Now who's that on our left side? It's Daniel Ricciardo. That gets us up the inside into Ravazza, and we do a nice switch back into the second part of Ravazza, and now we're in front of Ricciardo. We're going to box at the end of the lane, and with that we've given Max Verstappen a free position, but now we're going to give everyone a free position as we're going to come into the pit lane to change the front wing. And what tires are we going on to? It is a set of softs, so we're going to at least try and attempt for fastest lap. Apparently the front wing did have a bit of trouble getting on, and now we are miles behind Alonso and Pierre Gasly. But now that we're on the softs, let's see if we can at least cut the gap down. Ocon now is out of the race, so that's one less Alpine we have to deal with, or one less car we have to deal with. A safety car would be nice. However, I'm not sure if there is such thing as a safety car during a sprint race. If a safety car counts during a race, then surely it counts in a sprint race. And there's Ocon parked on the side of the road just before the start-finish line. Now I'm just praying to get this race or get this sprint race done and over with. Well, to be honest, just even in clear air, the sprint race literally went by so quickly. However, I did have that fear. Max now is out of the race, so Verstappen is also out of this race. He's had a shocking weekend so far. He blocked us off in our practice quali run on Friday practice. He collided with Lando Norris, and now he had a problem of some sort, and now he's out of the race. So Red Bull's reliability, or the Red Bull powertrain reliability, is proving to be not so good. However, we haven't had a single issue ourselves. However, I don't want to be saying that at this minute, because it can literally come back to bite us in the eyes. As you look at the MFD, we do have the orange edging warning for us, but apparently that's just the gearbox wearing out. That's a moment for us as we bin the car, and Vettel was into the pit lane. Can we quickly get back onto the racetrack as the Ferraris are now coming towards turns 1 and 2. I really do not want to get lapped, or I kind of want to get lapped so I can literally finish this race if that's possible. But we get onto the track. Okay, tyres don't look that overheated, but we've lost the car again. And there's Leclerc and Sainz coming right on cue, and Vettel, and now he's lost his wing again. We lose our wing. We get a collision warning with Leclerc. He's out of the race, and Perez joins in the party, and here comes the two Mercedes. They've got no idea what's going on. How do they not get a warning? But both Mercedes are out, and I think Perez is out, so Lewis is out, and I think Russell is out as well. Hopefully everyone else gets through. Carlos Sainz has got us, and now we've been lapped, and here comes Valtteri Bottas He's about to lap us, and I wanted to finish ahead at least of Sebastian Vettel. He has a look at us, and he's come up into us. However, we may not have given him much space, and now we've literally got almost no front wing on our car. As we go through Acqua Minerale and the chicane, Charles Leclerc is out of the race. Lewis Hamilton is out of the race. George Russell is out of the race, and Sergio Perez and Carlos Sainz is the only one of the top 5 that's going to get through, and Yuki Tsunoda is going to get on the podium in this sprint. So it's all happened on the last lap of this race, and it all started with me at turn 1, and I looked at the tyres as we went through the chicane, and it didn't look that bad. The tyres didn't even look that bad. They weren't even in the red hot temperature phase before. So yeah, I don't know why that one had to explain that second spin. Oscar got P12. That's actually a decent result for Oscar. He could be half a chance of scoring points for tomorrow's race. But that, and if you thought the sprint was hectic, then the race might even be more hectic as we head to that now.
Welcome once again to the Autodromo Internazionale Enzo e Dino Ferrari. The clue's in the name. This is very much Ferrari home turf, and the locals will be out in force today to support their team in what we hope will be a magnificent spectacle of motorsport. On then to the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. 3.1 miles of track at Imola featuring 19 turns, 9 to the right and 10 to the left. Remember that Imola differs from most other Formula One tracks as it's taken anti-clockwise. Let's hope nobody forgets that today. The exit from turn 18 will probably be the setup for many of today's overtakes, leading as it does into the longest straight on the circuit and its only DRS zone. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position, and Yuki Tsunoda completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Mick Schumacher, Albon, Sergio Perez, and Ricciardo, Stroll, Norris, Magnussen, and Carlos Sainz. They've taken a grid penalty. Oscar Piastri, Fernando Alonso, Guan Yu Zhou, and Latifi, Gasly, Russell, Charles Leclerc, and Lewis Hamilton. Skip, Vettel, Verstappen, and Esteban Ocon lines up at the back of the grid.
So here we go then for the actual race itself, the 32 laps around the Imola racetrack. Simple strategy today, mediums to hards. I've learned that mistake of starting on the hards in Bahrain. Literally had no pace. Well, literally didn't literally match the pace of those in Bahrain. But we're sticking with the simple strategy, mediums to hards. And hopefully we can get a late race safety car to maybe go on the softs. Anyway, 5 red lights ahead of us, lights out, and away we go. Brilliant start up against the front running car against Leclerc and the team Mercedes, but Leclerc cuts us off as we go down the main straight. We're hitting wheels with Lewis Hamilton as now we dive on the inside of as many cars on board with Vettel. Now we're on board with Leclerc. We cut the corner, we get 4 wide ahead of us briefly as we go through the chicane, and we nearly collide with the Williams of whoever the hell that is. And now we go through the first couple or the second chicane. Now Russell or Hamilton and Leclerc go side by side. We go up the inside of Nicholas Latifi. It's all happening in this first lap, and Leclerc gets through it, and we aggressively cut him off as we go up towards turn number 9. We do not touch, thank goodness, but Hamilton gets through, and Latifi might even think about having a look as we go through Acqua Minerale for the first of 32 times in this race. Little snap of oversteer as we go through on the exit, but all is good as we get through the first lap. Okay, well enough. Valtteri Bottas in the Alfa Romeo leading the way. How shaken up this grid. It's almost like a reverse grid race if you think about it, with the Mercedes and the Red Bulls starting at the back, and Leclerc, and I think Sainz had a grid penalty as well. I might have forgotten. But Russell's in 14th. Gasly's ahead of us. Could have had a move on Gasly at turn 7, but no, the pack was very tightly bunched, and Gasly wouldn't have been looking in his mirrors to see if I was going through. He would have just turned into me. Guan Yu Zhou in 14th. Leclerc gets a good run over Aqua Minerale. We go defensive into the chicane, and we hang on for a little while longer. I'd imagine that Gasly would be getting past Guan Yu Zhou very soon, as both of them don't really get a good run, but Zhou got probably the worst run, and yet he's gained time on Gasly. The start of lap 3, DRS is now enabled. Leclerc, he doesn't even need DRS to get past his car. He probably won't need much of a slipstream to get past any of us. Bottas leading the race so far. Good start from the ex-Mercedes driver, now in a Ferrari-powered car. Can he go on and maybe score a potential podium for Alfa Romeo? Now everyone's jacking up ahead of us. Nice little glitch that I've had a little problem with the recording. Now we're going to go round the outside of Pierre Gasly and Aqua Minerale. I said this wasn't an overtaking spot. We've gone round the outside of Gasly into the corner. Here's another quick view, and there was a gap open, and thankfully Gasly left the space, but that's not usually how you take Aqua Minerale, going around the outside, but we've made it work. How unreal is that? And that is not a great exit sideways of the corner. We're going to defend the inside, are we? Or, well, we kind of defend pretty aggressively. This has been a pretty aggressive race so far. We go deep into Ravazza as we try to get the DRS off of Charles Leclerc. I don't know why we're battling these cars. Really, we should just be letting them go and hope for literally a miracle. We try to defend the inside from Gasly, but there is an overlap, and I do give him the space. How deep do we go into turn number 1? He's missed the apex, and so do we. We've had to cut the corner, and that allows Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen through. Who would have thought those two would be fighting at the back? Because, well, Max has had a bit of a shocker. Now, who's that they're going up? It's Lando Norris, and Ocon has hit us on the main straight. That could have been an aeroplane crash. As now we're up the inside, he gives us the space. Why didn't he give us the space on the main straight when we hit? Hamilton got past Norris, but not Verstappen. But this time he should be able to get past on the run to turn, or on the main straight, on the run to onto turn 1, and he does comfortably in the braking zone. Now Norris is down at the back with us. Could we have similar pace? That is the question, as we are on lap 6. A lot has happened in this first 6 laps of this race, and if that's all to come, then this is going to be an insane race as we go up the inside of Lando Norris. And I got a bet against thinking about a move or thinking about staying behind, but one person I am going to keep behind is Esteban Ocon. And now we're going to have Verstappen and Zhou battling up ahead. Looks like Hamilton got past Zhou pretty quickly, and this is Gasly running wide at the chicane. This is a separate incident at turn 1. He gets back onto the track with no worry in the world. So yeah, apparently Zhou had some, I think he might have had some front wing damage or whatever, because if you look at the minimap, he's only just going through turn 7. Lap 8 and 9, that's a Mercedes, I think, of George Russell that has made a mistake at the chicane. We'll get a look, or I actually missed it, what's actually happened, but here comes Max Verstappen going through turns 1 and 2, and there is George Russell right in the middle of the track, and Verstappen literally had to slam his foot on the brake to get past, and as a result, Hamilton has got past, and now my teammate is in the DRS of those guys ahead. How long can he stay with them, though, is the question, and apparently not for long. So that's a bit of a shame. We don't have DRS now to Oscar, so we are just going to bloody defend from Ocon, but he has the DRS, and there was literally not much more we can do with that. Fuel burn at the moment is actually pretty ridiculous. At the moment, we're not. The fuel burn isn't quite what I said, and now that is Ricciardo that has made a mistake at turn 1. So turn 1 is becoming a place where guys are making mistakes of all the time. Can he wait to find a spot to get back onto the track safely? And that is George Russell that has stopped at turn 1, and that because that's multiple cars stopped on the track, that means the full safety car has been deployed, and it is lap 11 now. This is pretty close to the pit window, and if you look at the mini-map, everyone has come into the pits, including my teammates. So I'm backing up a little bit because I want to try and avoid double stacking. Now I know that's going to cost us time to Norris behind, because now he got up right up to the back of us, and we were held briefly, just like we did to Oscar in Australia. 2.6 second stop, and that has cost us position to Lando Norris. But to be honest, I think we might have lost position to Lando either way if we had to double stack. Gasly is out of the race under a safety car. He had a problem of some sort. Let's just try and get through the race as quickly as possible, because this race has already been hectic enough as it is. Just trying to stay up behind, but I was in 4th, and I honestly couldn't accelerate when I was in 4th gear. And I've noticed this even on F1 2021 when we get the first notification that the safety car was ending, especially when I was in a higher gear. Anyway, back to the restart. Sergio Perez is leading the way from Valtteri Bottas, the Haas of Kevin Magnussen, the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz, and the other Haas of Mick Schumacher. And there's the Alpine of Fernando Alonso, I believe, and the AlphaTauri of Yuki Tsunoda and Pierre Gasly behind. I think that order is correct. And now we've got us in 16th, Ocon in 14th, Norris in 15th. Where is my teammate? He must be a little further up the road. Hopefully he can get a move on, or maybe try and hold off some of the other cars behind. Russell and Vettel having a nice little scuffle behind us right now. Yellow flag behind us. That looks like one of the Hasses that made a mistake at turn 1 and 2. I missed that once again. I'm missing a lot of things in this at the moment, because there's so much stuff that's going on. I can't even keep up with what's going on. In the meantime, what is going on up ahead? As Ocon and Oscar have a moment, and we went round the outside of Lando, but it was an illegal overtake, so now we have to give the place back. But in doing so, we've held up George Russell. He's not going to be happy with that. But that was actually pretty cheeky. I mean, now he's trying to go around the outside of us at the chicane. Not the greatest of runs through there. We run wide again. Does that give George an invitation? No. Apparently, Danny Rick had a little look, but couldn't quite make the move stick. Now we've lost ground to Lando Norris. So we're halfway through the race. Honestly, I feel like it's taking forever to even do this post commentary at this point. Russell gets a good look at us. Now he'll clearly have position as we go into a battle. We missed the apex of the first part, but we hit the apex of the second part of Vavessa, and now we can get a good run with George Russell, but he doesn't even have DRS off of Lando ahead. And look at the speed of us. We use a bit of our battery, and have a look at the speed with DRS open and our battery. We breeze past George Russell again into turn 1. We did touch wheels, but yeah, I was surprised at how we even breezed past George as well. Mick Schumacher is out of the race, so that's another one who's retired in this race. Someone else retired. I can't even remember who it was. George Russell, again, have a look at us. He goes around up the inside at 17. This is, that was 16. Through 17 and 18 with Vatsa. Do we have the option to overtake him again, or are we just going to sit behind for a little while and maybe just stay behind? What are we going to do here? There's another yellow flag up ahead. Oh, that would be for Mick. Again, we get close. Safety car's deployed again, and that's Tsunoda that has stopped at turn 1. So now I guess why the safety car is deployed, and this gives us another opportunity to save a bit of fuel, because the fuel burn has actually been pretty darn ridiculous in this car. So yeah, this is actually a perfect opportunity for us to save a bit of fuel, as we can we'll just get enough fuel in the car so we could go full send at the end for the end of the race. Perez leads at the moment from Carlos Sainz and Valtteri Bottas. I tell you what, Bottas has done really well so far in this race, and he might even score himself a podium. However, I find it pretty hard to see how on earth he's going to keep the other faster cars behind. As the safety car is now coming in, we're going to have 11 laps of racing, hopefully no more safety car interventions, and we can have a nice sprint to the finish. Great restart against George. We're going to deplete a lot of our battery. We're in the slipstream of a massive slipstream train. What's going to happen? It's a turn one. We think about a move, but we don't quite make it work, as George or may have been defending from us, but he also might have been thinking about a move on Lando Norris, and it doesn't quite pay off. So now it's P15 for us, where our teammate is actually a couple of spots ahead of us. He might be half a chance of scoring points, and if that does happen, I want to try and make sure that he can get his first points out, but he's been assaulted by George Russell. Can we get a run on Lando? We are now right up his gearbox as we go into the second chicane. But spotting the apex was going to prove a little difficult, and as you saw there, it was not easy at all. Russell's up the inside of Oscar into turn 9. Can Oscar just try and hang on in there? He'll have the inside for Aqua Minerale, but George does what I did early in the race and go around the outside. So George is going to now fly ahead. Now I'm hoping there's some slower cars up ahead, but now this is a battle for the lead. While all that was happening, this is Sainz having to look at Leclerc. Sainz looking on Perez. They're still side by side at the exit of the first chicane, headed towards the second chicane. Does Perez give up? No, he hangs on in there. And Carlos had the flurry run round the outside of the second part of the chicane. Now Perez, can he get the flurry run round the outside of turn 7? They're still side by side. How are they still side by side? Neither of them are giving up, but Bottas lost position to Leclerc, but Sainz does get through for the lead of the race. The Ferrari fans would be going mad. They might even go mad if it's a Ferrari powered car 1, 2, 3. But Bottas is now outside of the podium now, and I'm not too sure if he can stay in touch with these guys right now. Someone else is squabbling up ahead. Who's that? It's Russell on Albon. Oscar gets a good run on Albon. Can he somehow stay there with them now? Vettel got a good run on us. We defend that pretty aggressively. This has been a very aggressive race by everyone, and Oscar is through for P11, but Albon is also a chance. We go round the outside of Norris. He's the second one we've gone round the outside of Aqua Minerale, and we get the job done. Thankfully, we didn't get a track limits warning, and thankfully that was a legal overtake, not illegal. A legal overtake. Great move from Oscar. He's through to P11. Is there any slower cars ahead that he may even try and hunt down? But to do that first, he's going to have to break the DRS of Alex Albon. But now we are being harassed by Lando Norris. We give him a little bit of space, but Albon has a little look at Oscar, but thankfully he stays ahead of the Williams. But how much longer is that gonna last? We've got both cars in a pretty good position, but P11 and P12 would be a great result for us. And Lando, he thinks about, but as soon as Lando got out of the slipstream, he sort of lost all that momentum. So that was actually pretty weird on that how that happened. But now we get a good look at Albon, but we haven't been able to quite get we haven't been able to get close enough for a move anywhere. But look at him break away from us from turn 7 to turn 9. Yeah. So with a few laps to go now, actually Oscar is actually catching another car up ahead. I don't know exactly who that is yet, but we do get a good run on Albon. This might be our best chance to get up and move up the inside. He defends a bit late. There is a little contact, or a big enough contact, and we get past the Williams P11 and P12. It is Lance Stroll, according to the leaderboard, that Oscar is chasing down. And so with a few laps to go, we're trying to break the DRS of Albon. I'm hoping for Lando to start squabbling with him, so I can break away and maybe go on a charge for Oscar and Lance. But yeah, the gap is about 2 seconds, and that was almost about the gap. I think the gap would have been like 1.7, 1.8 or whatever when I made that move on Alex. So that might be a bit of a stretch as we enter the chicane. We've used a lot of curb at the chicane all race, and now we've got enough fuel to literally push on this last lap. What's going to happen on this last lap? Oscar's in the slipstream and the DRS of Lance. He's going to go around the outside into turn number 1. Can he make the move? Sit this small contact and he gets it done. Does he? No, he leaves the space for Stroll, and Stroll gets back in front of Oscar. They're still side by side as they head into the second chicane. This is inviting me into the party. What's going to happen? Are we going to have a think about a move at Lance into turn number 7? We're diving up the inside. There's contact between the two of us, but we leave the door open for Oscar, and we let it through. We let Oscar through. It's on the run to turn 8 and 9. We defend aggressively from Lance. Can he get up the inside? No, he can't. And we just about hold on for P11 for us. But more importantly, we let Oscar through for him to score his first points. In F1, we run wide at Aqua Minerale, not intentionally, but just so we don't get floor damage. We haven't got floor damage as we're going over aggressively over the curves all race. Carlos Sainz wins for Ferrari. Ferrari are going to go nuts in the garage, but we're going to go absolutely nuts as our cars are going to be P10 and P11 as through Rivata we go. And for Oscar, it's his first point in Formula 1. This is what I was hoping for on the last lap. We needed something to happen, and we got it on the last lap.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
What a crazy finish as we pull up alongside Oscar to say well done on that points finish. What a weekend and what a race it's been.
And here's our winner, pulling their Ferrari into Parc Ferme after a fantastic race. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
Well, they certainly stood out as a driver with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
Ferrari are at it again. An excellent performance at today's Grand Prix, and they're certainly a team that know what they're doing out there.
What an incredible finish that was. 1-2 for Ferrari in front of the Tifosi. Not quite as realistic when it was a Red Bull 1-2. However, the only realistic thing about that was that it was a 1-2 from a team. So Perez getting onto the podium for Red Bull, but honestly, Ferrari cannot be stopped. This is honestly a Ferrari domination at the start of Season 1. So yeah, what a crazy weekend it's been overall. Wow, I am literally out of breath. P10 and P11 for us. That's a personal best team result for us. It would be a better team PB team result if both of our cars got in the points. But yeah, I mean, I think all of us can't be unhappy with that. Oscar getting his first points in F1. Now we've got an all Aussie 16th, 17th and 18th. I mean, it would be awesome if we got an all Aussie 1, 2, 3 in the championship. But honestly, something, a miracle is literally going to have to happen for that to happen. To have an Aussie 1, 2, 3 in the championship standings. Is it possible to get better results in this championship? I don't know. Leclerc originally got the fastest lap, but that was quickly displaced by Max Verstappen on the last lap. So whatever problems Max had, he must have come in again for a new set of soft tyres or whatever. So yeah, Max literally has had a literally crap weekend, probably one of his worst weekends ever in Formula 1. We've beaten Daniel Ricciardo in the rivalry, and I reckon picking Daniel for the rivalry was probably a good pick because he's literally been nowhere in real life, and he's almost been nowhere in in this first season. Level 6 Team Acclaim, I would almost expect that after the weekend we've had. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope if you enjoyed it massively, give this video a massive thumbs up if you literally enjoyed that. I'll try and make these uploads a little bit more frequently, but until the next one, for the Miami Grand Prix, I'll see you next time.